As Russian President Vladimir Putin stepped off his aircraft in New Delhi to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi on December 4, 2025, something unprecedented unfolded thousands of feet below the diplomatic spotlight. India's largest airline, Indigo, responsible for more than 60% of India's domestic aviation, suddenly collapsed into a chaos. More than 4,500 flights were cancelled, leaving thousands of passengers stranded and airport terminals overwhelmed with frustration and confusion. People missed weddings, funerals, and even the chance to meet their newborn babies as they remained unable to make it home. And all of this began on the exact same day that Putin arrived in India. Coincidence? Mismanagement? Or something more? Let's break down the story behind the Indigo meltdown, a storm that struck Indian skies at the worst possible moment and raised suspicions across the nation. Welcome back to TFI Global. The first signs appeared on December 2nd and 3rd when Indigo quietly cancelled over 150 flights. The airline blamed weather, technical glitches and crew shortages. But on December 4th, the day Putin landed in New Delhi, the situation exploded. Over 300 flights were cancelled within hours. Media coverage rapidly shifted away from Putin's high-stakes visit, defense deals, trade talks, and the Indo-Russian energy roadmap to angry passengers and collapsing operations. By December 5th, now being called Indian Aviation's Black Friday, Indigo had cancelled more than 1,000 flights in just one single day. At Delhi airport alone, every single one of the 235 scheduled departures disappeared from the board. Passengers erupted in protest. Some waited on the floor for 18 hours. Others broke down on camera as irreplaceable moments slipped out of reach. Indigo cited crew shortages. But then, something unusual emerged. A Mumbai Mirror report revealed something explosive. Pilots were available, but their names weren't added to the roster. A pilot told the newspaper, "We were ready to fly, but no one assigned us." Internal chats circulating online showed crew members pleading to be rostered while flights were simultaneously being cancelled. Was this understaffing, a scheduling disaster, or a deliberate operational slowdown? Pilot unions sharply attacked Indigo's management, accusing the airline of ignoring months of warnings about new DGCA safety rules. But then the speculation moved beyond aviation into geopolitics. India's Directorate General of Civil Aviation had implemented Phase 2 of new flight duty time limitations, rules starting November 1, 2025. These rules mandated longer weekly rest periods, stricter caps on night landings, more protection from fatigue. Airlines had over a year to plan. Most airlines hired extra pilots, but Indigo did not. The airline needed nearly 1,000 more pilots to comply, but continued with a lean, cost-cutting manpower strategy. On paper, this appears to be the root cause, but the timing of the meltdown, precisely matching Putin's arrival, kept fueling the suspicions. Indigo CEO Peter Elbers became the center of online debate. A respected aviation leader, he previously served as CEO of KLM in the Netherlands, a key NATO country. The press and social media highlighted his proximity to Dutch political leaders. Former Dutch PM Mark Rutte, now NATO Secretary General; Wopke Hoekstra, former finance minister, now European Commissioner. His involvement in European Union-aligned aviation strategies during his KLM years. These seemed normal connections for a Dutch corporate executive, but the internet started connecting the dots. Europe has banned Russian aircraft from entering European Union airspace. NATO maintains an openly adversarial relationship with Moscow. Putin's India visit was aimed at strengthening Russia-India ties, something Western powers watch very closely. So when the Indigo crisis overshadowed Putin's arrival, theories erupted. Was this meant to embarrass India during a high-profile Russian visit? Was the timing engineered? Was Indigo pressuring the Indian government? Was this corporate blackmail disguised as chaos? There is no proof behind these theories, but the coincidences were loud enough that they trended across every social media platform. The Indian government responded rapidly. DGCA issued show-cause notices to the CEO and COO. PMO demanded full refunds for all passengers. A 30-day compliance plan was ordered. Exemptions from some FDTL rules were temporarily granted to restore operations. Penalties and possible management changes were hinted at. In simple words, the government believed the airline had failed, whether by incompetence or intent. Reports suggested the PMO was furious. Even discussions about Elbers being removed surfaced publicly. Let's break this part down. What are the facts supporting the mismanagement? Indigo delayed hiring for over a year. Rivals like Akasa Air complied smoothly. Pilots were left unassigned due to internal planning failures. Indigo relies heavily on cost-cutting and tight schedules. The crisis mostly affected domestic flights and not international ones, suggesting operational control, not external interference. Now let's take a look at the facts fueling the speculation. The meltdown peaked on the exact day of Putin's arrival. Indigo had pilots ready but unrostered. International flights remained stable while domestic flights collapsed. The CEO has strong networks in NATO-aligned Europe. Putin's India visit was strategically significant. Social media instantly connected the geopolitical dots. So what's missing? Any solid evidence of sabotage? Until an official investigation says otherwise, all geopolitical theories remain just that, speculation. The Indigo crisis was a perfect storm. New rules, poor planning, a congested travel season, and terrible timing. Was the Indigo meltdown a corporate failure, a regulatory clash, or something far more complex? Time will tell. Until then, the dots remain on the table, waiting to be connected. Thanks for watching.